Hey, hey, hey. Oh, we're live. Now, I do know I'm a couple of minutes early, and I'm here just to do a little meet and greet and say hello as you start coming in. So if you're coming in now and you're seeing me now, no, you haven't missed anything. We are going to start straight up at the top of the hour. But I just wanted to say hello and do an all systems are go. Do light up that comment thread so I can see that you're out there. Say hi in the comments. We have got an awesome day ahead of us. Oh my gosh. Did you see the lineup? We have so many interesting, wonderful, amazing change agents that are out transforming people's lives and doing it the fun, light, and easy way, living their best life, following their feel good, and still building businesses. Hey, good to see you. Come on in. Thanks so much for saying hi. I love it, Julie. Keep on coming in and do the little meet and greet. We've got a few minutes before we start. Did you take a look at today's agenda? Do you have on your list who you want to see today? A couple of pro tips for the agenda today. Number one, have it in the background. You can have it on low in the background. Your brain will pick up the tidbits that you want. You can always stop what you're doing and take a little listen on the tidbits that you hear. So it's a great thing. We're going to be streaming all day long. You might as well have it in the background during the day. Or number two, do sit down and look at that agenda and say, okay, I'm definitely seeing these people live, but I can come back and I can see these people on the replay. We will have the replays up over the weekend. And so you will have a chance to listen to your favorite speakers. But I do hope you're here live because there's nothing like live energy. And I am watching the comments. So if you have questions as we go through the day, pop them in. In the meantime, if you are ready for an amazing day, give an I am in the comment section and say, yeah, bring it on, because we are ready to go. I am so super psyched to start today with Vicki Ibaugh, and we are going to get started in 1 second. I want to tell you about a very special bonus before we do. For those of you that don't know, there are two cool things up for grabs for you. Number one, look for the link in the description so that you can grab your freebie from Vicki, which I'll talk about more later, not to mention all the other speakers. And number two, take a look at the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club, because anybody who joins right now, this is limited time, have I got this the right way? I can't tell if this is going in reverse or not, but you will get, am I doing this? Let me look and see if I can get a good view. Here we go. The pen of expectation. Yeah, this comes in the mail and we do ship internationally. And guess what? Everything you write with it will come true. That's the power of intention. It's such a cool club, and I know you're going to see why it's such a cool club, because most of the world is screaming, work harder, work harder, work harder, get up at 5 a.m., work 18-hour days. And you're going to see that the people in this club, you're going to meet them on this summit. The people in this club get it, that following your feel good is the way to grow a business. So let me start by introducing Vicki Ibaugh. She's a business coach and the founder of Know You to Grow You. The other really key thing that I love about Vicki is that she's a Kolbe consultant. Now, those of you who have never done this test, I highly recommend it. It's an assessment, I guess I would call it, instead of a test. It's like a strengths test. It'll help you find out what your best strengths are. And the only thing more valuable than doing the assessment is being able to work with somebody who understands the assessment. One of the things that Vicki says, and I have to actually read this because it's such a perfect way to say it, her favorite commodity is time. Oh man, we could agree, right? And so she's committed, like her jam is helping people to be able to manage their energy and time, be able to shift their focus, be able to have clarity, all those good things so that they can have more success with less stress and less time. I know you're going to love that. Can I give a big old clap and hello for Vicki Ibaugh? Yeah, the crowd goes wild. Hi, Vicki. I'm so happy that you're here.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. So hanging out with you is one of my favorite places to be. So this is a great feel good to start my day.
I love that. I couldn't agree more. It's so fun, just to be able to chat and really get into these things. I love that you're your jam is helping people with overwhelm and helping them to find more time and get more clarity. And so let me start, like, when people come to you, when they first start working with you as a business coach, what are their lives looking like? Because you pretty much specifically focus on entrepreneurs, right? Solopreneurs.
Yeah. And so typically when they show up, they're frustrated. They're considering, like, maybe I should just go get a job. This is too hard. There's too many moving parts. I have to do all these things and I'm wearing all the hats. And they truly believe that they have to do like this list of 100 things.
Right. And
And they believe it. They fully believe that if they don't do those things, they can't be successful.
well, and we get that because everybody's telling us we have to do all those
Oh,
things.
yeah.
So that's where we get that from.
Yeah.
So is that what you think causes overwhelm? What do you think causes the overwhelm?
What I have seen for myself and for my clients, and I love this acronym. I don't remember who taught me this, but it's the acronym of BUSY. And it
Oh.
stands for because you said yes. And
Oh.
yeah, because when we look at our schedule, when we look at our list, these are all things we chose to say yes to. It was a choice to say yes to these things.
Wow, that is such an I love that acronym. How many of you just wrote that down? Like, how good is that? Because you said yes. And it's true. So I'm curious, like, is the thing to get better at saying no, or is the thing to change your mindset so you're more excited about all of these things? Like, what's the combo? What's the solution here?
So I think it's two things. I think it's a combination of the two, because when you're presented with an opportunity, it's that internal check-in of, does this excite me? Is this something I want to be doing, or is this something I should do that's not a feel good?
Yeah. Wow, that's so true, isn't it? Do you know what's funny too? I find, and the people I talk with too, I think this happens to them, is sometimes we act from that place of like, oh, this sounds like so fun and I can't wait to do this. But then when it actually comes time to do it, we start to feel overwhelmed and start to feel like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have said no to this. Do you have any fix for that? Because obviously, if you made the decision from an excited place, like, it makes sense that you had a reason why you had that hit. So what do you think about that, Vicky?
Yeah. And so for the people I work with, a lot of times when we get down to the root of, okay, what's really going on here? And sometimes it has to do with like a fear of being visible, or there's some underlying thing going on that we're not even fully aware of until we
Wow.
stop and go, what's going on here? Like this morning, I had a bunch of stuff happen yesterday and today, and I could have very easily just been like, oh my gosh, Dana, I can't do it. But I was like, no, like this is just that little part of ourselves that we all have that goes, you're not good enough and you're too busy. And we start telling ourselves stories that aren't necessarily true. And so instead, I went, how much better am I going to feel hanging out with Dana? And how good is it going to feel to maybe enlighten one person to something that's going to change their day? And so it's just in the shifting of how we sometimes think about things, and then we get fired up about them again. And some of us, I know for me, I am wired in such a way that I like trying new things. I like experimenting. And then after a while, I'll go, I've been doing this a while. What's the next shiny object I can attach myself to? And so I have to reinvigorate my love for the thing I'm doing
Yeah.
and to just re-engage with it, because that's how I'm wired. And so I'm aware of that. And I just go, Vicki, you know what? It's time to just get fired up about this again, to start feeling good about what you do and who you work with and how you work with them. Because
Yeah.
once you get there, you're going to love it.
Yeah, you know how you're going to feel when you leave. You're going to be so fired up and you're going to love it. It's so true. We're getting so many good comments here. First of all, everybody loves that acronym, busy, because you said yes. And second of all, we've got people saying, oh my gosh, thanks for this topic. I need this. I need this. So I want to definitely let you know that I see you in the comments and I appreciate everything you're saying. It feels to me like at the center of everything you're saying here now, Vicki, it's almost like ultra awareness. If we're aware of how we feel when we make the decision, we know if that decision came from a good place or not, if we were using our best brains, in my terminology, or if, and if at the time we're doing it, if we're aware, like, okay, I'm feeling like, oh gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I had a busy morning. And so I know that I'm feeling this way because I'm telling some kind of a story. So and I want to get back to this thing about being seen, because I'm sure that there's more nuggets there. But so you're basically saying, let me see if I've got this right, that when we start to feel that sense of overwhelm, it's because we're not remembering why we said yes.
I think that's a big piece of it. The other pieces that fall into place is, there are so many things that influence our energy. Your environment influences your energy. The people around you influence your energy, which is why I like to hang out with people who lift me up. And in turn, I get to lift other people up. And so there's all these influences. And so sometimes just being aware of those things and making sure, I know for me, if I start my day with a long list, but I'm replenished,
Yeah.
I've slept well, I did my morning activities that really fire me up and fill my cup, tackling that list is no big deal. I am not
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Talk
But
about
that same
replenishment.
list
Yeah.
on a day that I'm not replenished is overwhelming. So what's the difference? It's the same list.
You're right.
It's who I am coming into that situation. It's my mindset and whether I am coming from a place of feeling good or feeling bad, which is why mindset does matter most. Because I can have a day where I
1,000%.
don't get enough sleep, but I can still get fired up by the activities I choose to do that fire me up that morning.
You're so right. I can barely contain myself. I'm sorry, because I want to go like, yes, everyone listen to this. I don't even know if I mirrored or not, but I listen, because this is exactly right. So replenishment. So it feels to me like we had a twofold thing that you said. The first thing was, set the stage, be replenished, get enough sleep, do what you can to feel good, eat, take naps if you need to, do what you need to feel good. But if for some reason you're not in a replenished state, that doesn't mean that you have to then just say, oh, well, to hell with everything. I can't do it. You can still greet the world with mindset. Is that right? Do you want to add anything to that?
Absolutely. And for those of you who are more practical, because I like to dance in the woo, but I also like to, as my one friend calls it, I dance in the land of the do. It's like, I'm going to woo woo myself up, but then at the end of the day, I'm going to get some stuff done too. And one of the things I'll do if I'm like, okay, this, I'm not at 100% today, I'm at 50%. I can look at my list and go, prune it and go, what are the most important things for me to do today? And what sometimes happens is just through the sheer act of momentum of me doing some things, that actually starts to fire me up, because I'm like, I'm checking stuff off my list. I'm like, look at me, I'm getting stuff done. And sometimes I do 3 or 4 things and I go, okay, that's enough. Like I did something. And having that mindset of sometime, and this is true some days, sometimes the best thing I can do that day is just go take a nap. And then I'll wake up, and because I took the time to do what was most important right then was for me to take a nap, and I'll wake up and I'll have an email from somebody who's sending me money. So you just never know how what you're doing to take care of yourself and to just move things forward the best you can is still, your business is still running.
Totally true. And you're coming at it with a different mindset when you're rested and feeling good and in a state of replenishment. Like you said, I love that. Do you know, I do that every morning. I write down 3 things that are like, these are the 3 things that by the end of the day will be done. And one of them is always something like, stay centered, be present, relax more. I have 2 do things, everything. And what's nice about that system, Vicki, the reason I like that you mentioned this is because then I know if I get those 2 things done, I can take the rest of the day off if I want to. Like that was really my focus, was to get those 2 things done and stay centered, or, be happy, or whatever the third, walk more, whatever it was. So
Yeah.
I love that. And so when you talk about pruning your list, is that not only on a day-to-day basis, or do you do that regularly? Like, do you have a weekly habit to prune your list, or how do you manage?
Yeah. So I do it monthly, weekly, daily. And so when I'm setting my month goals, I start with looking at my full schedule and I go, yeah, is that big list really realistic? Because I'm a big believer in leaving white space in my schedule. And by white space, I mean when I open up my calendar, there are whole blocks of time with nothing in them. And the
Yes.
purpose is not to fill them. I leave them there because if, life happens, things pop up. I
Mhm.
have space to move things, and that prevents me from feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
because I'm not like back to back to back to back. I have a husband who loves to be back to back to back.
Ugh.
He thrives on that. I do not. I
Yeah.
thrive on having some space in my calendar. And so that's one of the techniques I use is to make sure I leave that space on a monthly basis. But then even for the week, as things start to happen, I might go, oh, well, I'm going to move that to this week, or I'm just going to choose to not do that. Or maybe I'm going to delegate that to somebody else because not everything has to be done by you. Certain things really could be done by somebody else.
Imagine that.
Yeah. And then when I wake up that day, I'll look at my list and go, like you do, what are my top priorities? If I only got these things done, that's all I needed to do. And
Yeah.
like yesterday, I did the 3 things I needed to do. And then I went, do I want to do these other things? Do I have the capacity to do these other things and do them well? I'm like, no, I think I'm going to go take a walk with our second dog while we wait for our first dog to finish with his medical testing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then on the drive home, because I had like a 2-hour drive home, like ideas started popping in my head. And so when I got home, I was like inspired to do some more stuff.
And
But
that downtime is really when the good ideas come. I mean, people always think that work or productivity is all about sitting down, nose to the grindstone, but it's really not. And I'll tell you the other benefit of white space is then you have the opportunity to say yes to new things that come your way because
yes,
you've got the space to do it, and you've got the space to think, and you've got the space to be creative, and you've got the space to download those good ideas. If
yeah,
you are ready for more white space on your calendar, give me an oh yeah in the comments because I know you are. Like, doesn't this all sound so good? This is the whole do less, make more method, because when you are not so focused on doing all the time, you have that space in your brain and in your calendar to do other things. So I just absolutely love all of this. What do you think is the most important strategies that you think your clients have implemented that have helped them, shift their lives? Like, who do they transform into? Who do they become as they start to work with you?
yeah. So, and this is one of the reasons why I called my company Know You to Grow You.
Yeah.
Is we spend a lot of time on alignment and learning who they are at their core, because what has happened is they've been coached by people who just go, oh, you're good at this, you should do this and you should do it this way. And instead, by taking, like, what are their passions, what do they love doing, who do they love working with, and how are they wired to work? And that's where the Kolbe comes in, is we look at how they naturally approach work so that we can create alignment between, you could have 2 people that are both social media people, but they're going to approach the work differently based on what their passions are, what platforms they love, how they like to work with people, how they're wired to work. And so everything I do is very personalized to what they want and how they're wired. And so, like, a group coaching session sometimes looks like, okay, because you are a fact finder and you love to do research, how can we like figure in more of that and have you get paid to do more of what you already love to do? As opposed to somebody like me who loves to generate ideas and come up with ideas, because that's how I'm wired. And so you can't do one size fits all advice. It doesn't work. There are so many pathways to success. And when you align, guess what? Your pathway lights up and it just becomes easy. It takes less time, it takes less energy.
Yeah, totally. Boom on the nose. It is not a one size fits all. And we all, I mean, how much better is it to live life when you're doing things that you're good at, you're naturally good at, they're your strengths, you love doing them, you want to get up, you want to do those things, they're a match for you. Like it's such good advice, Vicki. I just love that. We're getting so many good comments. I just love everything coming in and do please keep lighting it up. I love hearing that. Vicki, if somebody's listening in now and they're new to mindset, they're new to figuring out a way to live like this, and they're saying, like, where do I start, or what's the first thing I could do? What would you tell them?
So for me, and I'll be honest, like I've been in Dana's sandbox now for 20 years.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So Dana came to a conference I was at when I was at a point where I had a toddler who was an intense toddler. We've all had, if you've never had one of those and people go, why didn't you have more kids? And I'm like, I couldn't do two of this child. Like I love him, but I cannot do two of him. And I was just overwhelmed with work. I was in a state of overwhelm. And I remember you coming in and talking about brain training. And
Wow.
my biggest challenge was I was focused on the problem. The problem just kept circling in my head like, oh my gosh, I have this and I have this and I have this. I was so focused on what I didn't want. And I had lost track of what I did want. And you helped me start to focus on, well, what is it I do want? And you taught me about the reticular activating system and how it's a matchmaker, and that I was choosing to match up the negative as opposed to the positive. And so I think one of the first steps is to get clear on what you want. Like, what do you just truly want? And then to start hanging out with people who understand the power of brain training and mindset, and not in the Pollyanna, like, way out there, like crazy way. But like, I always loved working with you because it was like, here's the science and then here's the mystery, and we're going to mix them both up. And what was crazy is crazy stuff started happening as I did that. I was inspired to write a letter to the developer of our neighborhood because he was looking to invest in businesses. And I told him all about this business my husband was on the verge of starting. And I didn't tell my
Wow.
husband I wrote the letter. And 2 weeks later, he called my husband up and said, I'm ready to invest.
Wow, that's
And
great.
it came from getting clear on what I wanted, because I wanted my husband to be able to leave this job he hated and to start this next thing. And that's what I wanted. And then this idea, like ideas just start popping in your head once you get clear on what you want.
Wow, Vicki, okay, first of all, I'm feeling so humbled and honored that you gave that shout out. For those of you that don't know about the reticular activating system part of the brain, what she's talking about is that part of our brain's a little matchmaker. It listens to what we think about and what we talk about, and it matches it up in the outside world. And I just love that you gave this direction to focus on what do you want, because I have to tell you, and maybe you've experienced this too, I think that's a hard question for some people. I think when the people get so used to not thinking they can have what they want, so it's almost like there's this paralysis or feeling afraid to say this is what I really want, because it almost makes you want to break down and sob when that happens. And so if you have had, if you have some advice for those kind of people who are really trying to figure out what it is that they want, like, how can they take a baby step into that? Because it's, if you can get clear on that, the
Yeah.
rest is possible.
Yeah. And so I think because so many people get wired into the negative, because we're exposed to negative stuff constantly, we're bombarded with it. One of the activities I like to do with my clients, if I'm asking them, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, what don't you want?
That's
And we'll
good.
start there. And then it's just about flipping the script. It's like, I don't want to have to get up at 5 a.m. to go to my job anymore. Okay, what do you want? What time do you want to get up? What do you want to be doing with your day? And so sometimes we have to start with that negative, which is where, you know, your famous word that has transformed so many mantras for me and for my clients, the word but.
Yeah.
Right now I have to get up at 5 a.m., but very soon I'm going to get to sleep till 9 a.m. and then start my day.
Yeah,
Whatever it is. Or
Uh,
I don't know how, but this is what's going to happen. My sister has used that a couple times. She thought she was moving to fifth grade, and we came up with the mantra, I don't know how, but I get to stay in fourth grade. And she just kept saying it because she's like, it's not even possible. And I'm like, let's just play with it. I don't know how, but. And then we had figured out what she wanted. She wanted to stay in fourth grade. It happened. And then she was
wow.
told she had to work 5 years before she could retire. And that seemed overwhelming to her. And so I said, okay, what are we going to do? What do you want? And she goes, I want to work less than that. And so it was, I don't know how, but I get to retire sooner. And she got notified 2 months ago that now she only has to work 2 years instead of 5 years.
Wow. It feels like magic so often, doesn't it? Like it's, your brain is just standing at attention, waiting to give you what you want. And Vicki just gave you, that's a golden nugget. If you didn't catch that, if you got here late, I'm going to tell you right now, if you know what you don't want, like if you could make a list of like, I don't want this and I don't want that and all the things you want to change in your life, you can figure out what you do want just from that. You can just flip them. And so, Vicki, wow, just such good stuff. I know you all think so too. Give me a hands up in the comments if you are loving this, because there is so much good stuff there. Wow. Vicki, as you know, I could sit here and I could talk to you all day because this is just such fun for me. And I feel so energized and so ready. And I know you've already given so much and people are ready to go and replenish their lives and prune their lists and focus on what they want and all that good stuff. And so do you have any parting shot for everybody who's listening today?
I think my parting shot is, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs, you get to have it your way. You get to work with the people you want. You get to do the work you want. And sometimes we haven't given ourselves permission to do that because maybe we've worked in corporate America and we were told what we were going to do and who we were going to work with. But you're your own boss.
Yeah.
And so I think there is this beautiful balance between being the operator in your business, the doer in your business, and being the owner of your business. And when you're the owner, you're the visionary. You get to cast the vision of what you want and then just go, I don't know how, but, and then list all the things that you want. Just
Oh,
tell your reticular activating system, I'm ready to match these things up.
that's so awesome. Man, you just rocked it. Thank you so much, Vicki. I just so appreciate chatting with you. So everybody, I know you are, if you're like me, like seriously, I got goosebumps. I'm feeling so inspired right now. And I'm sure you are too. I didn't get to mention, just so you know, Vicki's favorite mantras, I'm a money magnet and this is sorting itself out. Ooh, that is a flippin' good one. If you haven't grabbed it yet, do look for the link in the comments because you can get Vicki's freebie. She's got a freebie, a guide all about overcoming overwhelm. And it covers what we've been talking here. She shows you exactly how to start doing less and achieving more. And she's giving it to you for free. So definitely check out the comments. Go get her freebie and know that you're not only getting her freebie when you do that, you're also getting freebies from all our other speakers, all of our other speakers over the whole summit, not just today. And the sponsors. For example, Susan McPhee today, she has got Sewing for Beginners, Scrappy Applique Virtual Workshop. So this is for brand new beginners who don't even know how to sew and you've always wanted to and you say, where do I start? Well, this is for you. So I know you are loving the information that we just got from Vicki. How cool is it to be reminded that we have to be our best selves, we have to replenish ourselves, we have to feel good, we have to be rested and try to make those decisions when we're in that state of mind. And then after we've made the decision, when we start to feel overwhelmed, to know that we can reignite that decision. We can get clear on what we want. If you can start with understanding what you want, then the rest is just going to unfold so easily for you. And she gave us so many other tips, including to remember to use that button the appropriate way so that you can build the life that you want to. Remember, you can hang out with these people. How cool is that? One of the things I heard her say in her interview, and maybe you heard it too, is surround yourself with people who get this. We'll do it in the Positive Mindset Entrepreneurs Club. You can join right now. Check the link in the description. And when you do, you have the opportunity to get this pen. Every single person who signs up during the summit, I'm going to mail this to you. And yes, we do ship internationally. This is the pen of expectation. Whatever you write with it will come true. That is the power of intention. Next up, we have Michelle Phil. Oh my gosh, I can hardly wait to chat with her. She is a board certified wellness coach. She focuses on helping people who are in transition, especially sometimes when you're in transition and you didn't really want to be, like a unexpected divorce. You're over 50. You're like, oh my gosh, now I got to figure out life all again, all on my own. She's got fantastic mindset exercises, so many good tips, so many ways to reinvent yourself. And so if you're thinking, oh my gosh, it would be fantastic to reinvent myself, then you definitely want to be here. We're going to be here at the top of the hour. I'm here all day. Keep showing up on the hour. Keep us on in the background, and you don't have to even think about it. I hope you're having as good of a time as I am. We're so lucky to have so many transformational, positive, wonderful change agents out in the world that we get to hear from. And thanks so much for spending time with me. I can't wait to see you in 30 minutes.